Despite the fact that many animals are loved in their homes, some are mistreated and end up in shelters. Fortunately, that just gives them the opportunity to locate a new owner who will treat them right. Here are some of the most heartwarming tales of animals that got rescued, starting from a single survivor. When an owner learns that their pet is pregnant, it doesn't always make them happy. Once the babies are born, they abandon them because they don't want the stress of having to care for an entire litter. You have to wonder why these people would even get a pet in the first place. Fortunately, this kitten made it through the ordeal. Even though they were barely able to survive, they were the only member of their litter who was still alive when they were found. They were extremely vulnerable because the poor cat was blind, starving, and in need of love. But things have changed drastically since then. Not alone anymore. When it was found years ago, this dog wasn't in the best of shape. It appears that the animal's previous owner left it in a park with the expectation that it wouldn't live long. They most likely would have perished alone and scared if someone hadn't come to save them. However, the right moment for intervention had arrived. The smiling dog you see here is the result of the dog being found and restored to health. The new owner is committed to making the rest of their days happy despite the fact that they may not have had the best start in life. Taken out of a gutter, some abandoned animals are too young to survive on the streets when they are left behind. Their days are sadly numbered because they are still young children who have no idea how to survive on their own. Thankfully, this little guy was discovered before suffering a tragic fate. When he was found in a gutter at the age of just 2 weeks, he was given a suitable home. No young animal should ever be made to fend for itself. Fortunately, this generous owner now treats them like royalty, making up for their traumatic past. The cat appears much happier than they did earlier. Restored to health. If a CBP agent hadn't found this horse at the right time, starvation would have probably taken the animal's life. It was so weak that it could not even get to a hay bale that was just out of reach. It was clear that she would die as the same way as their other foal, which had already passed away. Nevertheless, she defied all expectations after being taken to an animal shelter. She was given a great deal of love and care to help her get well again. And soon after that, she was placed in a loving new home. Knowing that there are truly happy endings is comforting. Style sleeper. The difference a few years can make is amazing. This dog used to wait for someone to love them by sleeping on cold floors. The shelter wasn't the best, but it was unquestionably an improvement over where they had been before. Thank goodness someone did eventually arrive and realize that this dog was the right one for them. The animal received the comfortable life that they had only hoped for, and they were successful in doing so. They now have a whole bed to themselves instead of sleeping on the floor. That is at least how he sees it. Perhaps his owner won't concur. Running trash. People weren't even aware that this dog was a dog when they first came across them. It certainly didn't resemble any other dog they had ever seen with its matted fur. Thankfully, the rescuers quickly realized that there was a dog hiding beneath all that dust and fur after getting a closer look. It took a while to find the animal at the shelter, and it wasn't a big fan of the razor that was used to shave it. They were happy with their new appearance though once the ordeal was over. They no longer appeared to be a pile of trash. Endeavor to trust. It can be challenging for animals to trust people when they have been abandoned. Having to fend for themselves for so long on the streets can make them more tenacious. Sadly, if they are eventually saved, that might work against them. No one is going to be willing to adopt an animal if it doesn't want to be around people. But not all stray animals behave in this way. When they are saved, some animals still harbor feelings for their new owners and are ready to extend a hand of goodwill. This feline's actions after adoption are certainly indicative of that. Competition for recognition. When there are other people around who are all vying for the same attention, it can be challenging to get it. Being raised in a home with 40 other cats caused this poor cat to struggle with that when they were younger. Some of them got neglected because it was impossible to take care of them all. Thankfully, although things may have been bad at the time, they are much better now. A new owner was won over by the animal's affectionate disposition, and they have prospered ever since. The struggle for attention between this cat and others is over. Can't be kept dumb. Different animals have different vocal ranges. For example, while some dogs will bark at anything they see, others will only do so in dire situations. Even though it seems like not everyone enjoys cat meowing, cats are the same as other animals. This cat was allegedly dumped because they were noisy, which their new owner has grown to love. While it's understandable to get frustrated when your pet won't stop acting out, it doesn't excuse leaving them behind. Additionally, if they are meowing a lot, they probably want something. Animals usually have a purpose when they make noise. Away from the rain, a kitten that has been abandoned does have a slim chance of surviving. They are too weak to find food on their own and haven't yet mastered independence. Because of this, many of them pass away before help can even reach them. Thankfully, this didn't happen to this adorable cat. Even though she was starving, cold, and wet when she was discovered in the street, she was still fighting. All the trauma from her past was quickly forgotten thanks to some tender loving care and lots of attention from her new owner. She is currently ruling the world. The enigmatic goop. Whenever an oceanic substance spill is mentioned, oil is almost always the contaminant. However, as demonstrated by the 2015 San Francisco Bay spill, this isn't always the case. Officials called the liquid mystery goo because they weren't entirely sure what it was. They might not have known exactly what it spilled, but that didn't mean the wildlife wasn't still in danger. They were in grave danger because the substance, like oil, had an adverse effect on their feathers and reduced their capacity for waterproofing. Fortunately, bird rescue stepped in and helped hundreds of the impacted animals. And finally, some place warm. Unfortunately, the cat was still inside the vehicle when the owner took off, leaving the pet trapped and severely burned. Fortunately, though the event may have been traumatic, there was no danger to life. The animal was saved and brought to safety, enabling a nearly complete recovery. The poor animal lost an ear, but at least they survived to tell the tale. Additionally, they emerged from their ordeal with a new forever home. So that's the end of the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and press the notification bell so you never miss out on our next videos. Until the next video, take care.